Philippines make you feel like? Some Western people may find it very uncomfortable when they receive a lot of attention from Asians. They may even feel like they are a newly displayed animal in the zoo or an on-sale luxury brand that everybody has to talk about. But why? Why do foreign men get a lot of attention when they visit the Philippines when they barely receive the same amount of energy and attention when they are staying in their own country? Well, there are a lot of reasons that people make a spectacle out of you every time that you visit the different parts of the Philippines. But let's go to the most common one, which is you look different. As you can see, Filipinos are used to seeing foreign men on TV screens or in cinemas. Sure, they know what you guys look like tall, pale light skin, with light or dark blue eyes, or dark skin with dark orbs. You know, it just pretty much sums up the common features of Westerners, right? And despite knowing how you guys look, seeing you in person still gives a different feeling. Like, these people are being starstruck is one thing, because again, people are used to seeing their own kind. Like Filipinos who have, you know, jet black hair with tan or lighter skin, and average height of 5 foot. So yeah, you get this picture already. So you are likely to feel like a new plug that has to be addressed when visiting provincial areas in the Philippines. However, if you are to step foot in big cities like Manila and Cebu, you will not really receive much attention because, well, there's a chance that someone would really glance at you for, you know, for a few seconds, but they won't really care since they're pretty used to seeing people from different places in this, you know, in this part of countries. Like, especially here in Cebu, oh my god, especially in Dumaguete, oh my god, there's a lot of foreigners there. So some of these city girls, city people are actually used to seeing foreigners, so they kind of like really not, you know, ignorant to that. But those people who are in province, yeah, they are pretty much, ooh, who's this handsome right here? So aside from your different physical features, why else do locals give you more attention? Well, first and foremost, Filipinos are just simply warm and welcoming. Okay, so this brings you back to the common trait that most Filipinos embody, which is hospitality. Filipino people, they tend to welcome foreign men in the area to make them feel like they belong here in the Philippines too. And it could be a strategy to continuously gain tourists in different locations in the Philippines. And if that's the case, then this actually works great for the country's economy. So setting this aside, it's just pretty common for Filipinos to shower you with attention and even indulge you with answers to your questions, like you asking which directions is this, since a lot of you are not quite familiar with different places here in the Philippines, right? And they may even ask you basic things about yourself too, or how you are liking your stay in the country. But hey, these are just harmless and friendly gestures that you will encounter once you get here in the Philippines and once you get to meet different people in the streets, you know, in the malls, in the groceries, or whatever is that. Some people will just randomly approach you or stare at you and will say hi, or will smile at you, because again, here in the Philippines, if you're a foreigner, people will really think that you're a celebrity.
Wow.
And the second one is that they are curious. Filipinos are never the subtle type. Okay, so yes, they won't say a word about you, but you can literally see in their faces that they have a lot of questions about you. You know, and the subdued furrowing of your eyebrows and the mumbles that you would hear as you walk past them, these may tell you exactly a thing or two about their nastiness. Some people, especially the older ones, will not try to be subtle. They would ask you directly, like questions like, what brought you here, or who are you with? And it's always up to you, okay, whether you want to answer them or not. But hey guys, always have to keep in mind that they mean no harm, okay? They are just simply curious, okay? Because again, as mentioned earlier, the provincial side of the country doesn't get a lot of foreigners. So if you visit some parts of Cebu that are not really popular for, you know, for tourists, then you will immediately get stared at from head to toe because it's pretty uncommon for locals, especially to those elderly people, to find someone visiting the area. But again, as what I've said, do not worry because the stares or the looks that you're getting do not really mean much. They are just nosy people, and it's understandable if you find it really uncomfortable, as they could somehow make you feel like an oddball amongst a basket filled with eggs. And yeah, some people could be, could be outright nosy and ask you very personal questions already, especially if you decide to migrate to the Philippines. Again, as what I've said, they would surely ask what your business here is, or do you have a Filipino girlfriend or wife here? Just a ton of questions that will satisfy your hunger for information, because we call it here marites. So guys, again, as what I've said, it's up to you whether you want to respond to them or not, or you will just go away and ignore them. But just a friendly piece of advice, everybody, that it's better to be polite and to be respectful to those people who try to approach you, because they are just really friendly and do not feel, it's totally understand that you get uncomfortable with that, but as much as possible, just try to be polite and respectful as well. Okay, so now let's go to the other reasons of why you get a lot of attention here in the Philippines as a foreigner, is because these Filipino people find you really, really attractive, okay? Because, considering the fact that you are a foreigner who has a high nose bridges, pale light skin, blonde hair, blue eyes, green eyes, or whatever is that, everything that makes up a Barbie and Ken could easily attract to a Filipino people, because white skin here in the Philippines, guys, is a standard for beauty. And if you have it, then you are like a celebrity crush in your place. You will be considered pretty already if you have whiter skin. And anyone who sees you walking by could be interested in you because you look different. So as you can see, most Filipinos grew up with Barbie and Ken in their playhouse, and some even had a chance to watch the whole installment in Mattel. Growing up and seeing that these characters are seen as attractive, it's not impossible for people to find you really attractive and appealing too. However, not all Filipinos find white-skinned foreigners really attractive, because it's just really a preference influenced by East Asian dramas and Western dramas like Korean dramas, K-dramas, K-pop, or whatever is that. And yeah, these are just the good and harmless side of why foreign people become the center of attraction here in the Philippines and why they get so much attention here in the Philippines. But of course, there are merits and demerits when you visit the country itself, okay? Because not everyone, guys, would approach you just because they want to be friends with you or because they find you attractive. Because to be honest with you, some people have ill intentions, which gives most decent Filipinos the ick. And the first one that I'm gonna mention is that you receive a lot of attention here because you are subject to be scammed. Yes, guys, you have heard it right, okay? It's a spat on and sugar-coated reason why some foreigners receive a lot of recognitions from locals, because they are target to be scammed. And seeing a foreigners is like spotting $100 bill walking down the road. And you can see, guys, foreigners here in the Philippines are like lottery tickets for some Filipino people, because they think that if they get to know you and be friend with you, you might buy into whatever they are selling. And here's the thing though, they would double up or even triple the prices of their merches because they think that you're someone who's loaded with unlimited cash and easy to manipulate to. Well, this isn't a rare case for most, and some of you may have experienced this firsthand. Especially if you guys have watched, like Rafi Tolfo. You can Google it, Rafi Tolfo, and there you can literally see a bunch of foreigners being scammed by Filipina or even Filipinos. So you really have to be very careful with that. Remember the taxi driver who offered to give you a ride after having a good chat with him? Yeah, exactly, that one. He might have seemed so friendly and polite to you, and you thought that he was just being nice guy who wanted to offer you his services for a decent price. But hey, wait until you hear how much he would charge you at the end of the ride. He's gonna double or triple of what he usually asks regular people to pay for it. So here's a tip, everyone. Always pay attention and do your research first before getting on a cab, okay? Because getting to know the average fares to prevent getting taken advantage of and also settle the cost so that it will not multiply itself magically once you reach your destination. Okay, so you have to be very careful with that. Let's go to the next reason why you get so much attention here in the Philippines as a foreigner is because these Filipino people, they want to gossip about you and your relationship with your Filipino women. Well, yes, people could simply be genuinely curious, but here in the Philippines, Karen from the US has a long-lost cousin named Marites. And unlike Karen who treats people poorly, this Marites isn't as rude as the latter. Marites is like a gossip detector and creator with a simple whisper of your and your partner's name, and you would immediately hear a ton of different versions of story from them, from this Marites people. So guys, once you meet someone who asks a lot about your livelihood or asks about weird things that neighbors are not supposed to know or not supposed to ask, you better guess that she's a Marites. That's what we call here in the Philippines, Marites. And yeah, these are the types of people you would not really want to associate yourself with. Well, sure, they would give you a lot of attention, but hey, they would also have a lot of stories to tell about you and your relationship the moment that you turn your back on them. They will backstab you, they will say negative things about you, and yes, these are just simply the summary as to why you become an instant star once you step foot in the rural areas of the Philippines. And yeah, I know it could be overwhelming, right? And some of you may find it annoying because you cannot seem to enjoy your vacation since people will not stop making you feel like a monkey in a zoo. But you know what? For me, I guess these things are quite inevitable. Just, think of it as an Asian visiting to US. They would receive the same treatment as well, wouldn't they? Because you know what, guys? It's human nature to find people getting curious about things that are new to their eyes, and actually that's really uncontrollable. However, if things do go out of hand, you are free to voice out your discomfort, okay? And again, just be polite when you are trying to address to prevent misunderstandings between you and the local Filipino people. Although not all of them would understand why it makes you really feel uncomfortable, but trust me, many would also still be considerate of how you feel and would eventually leave you alone and will respect you, okay? So how about you, everybody? Did you also receive a lot of attention when you first visited the Philippines? Okay, so comment down your experiences below. It would be lovely to get a new insight of how it made you feel, and I would love to respond and read your comments, everybody. So again, thank you so much for watching. See you to my next video. Bye-bye!